So, is it possible to run a remote-only MSP so that you as the owner of the MSP can go and work from a beach somewhere or the mountains or whatever you like? Alex, let's get into it. I mean, there's many considerations here, and why are we the right people to be telling, from Supported Ventures' perspective, why are we the right people to be telling them this?
Well, not only do we have the experience of knowing that it is possible, we are currently in Bangkok at the moment, in Thailand. Eric, the founder, lives on an island in Thailand.
Yeah.
We really do see that it is not only just possible, that you can truly thrive running
With a few caveats
Yes.
that we have to mention in this video, but we'll get into it. We'll talk about the considerations because I decided to leave my IT business in Toronto. Wasn't MSP, it was basically me running around fixing computers. I left that in 2013 and moved to a place called Belgrade, Serbia, and kept things going from there with my clients, and then started working with MSPs in London after that. So it's 12 years now, remote only for me. And that turned into something called Support Adventure, where we find you the best staff from around the world and integrate them in your MSP culture, giving tips on how you can improve your help desk culture to achieve remote working success. So that's where we're coming from. But your dream might be to be able to run a remote-only MSP. If that's the house in your suburbs in New Jersey, so be it. But if you want to embrace the world and go somewhere else, the internet's quite good right now around the world. So let's talk about it. What do you need to do to run a remote-only MSP? Because the main thing is, the main things that right from the beginning that I think they need boots on the ground for is sales, shaking those hands.
Yes.
And servers.
Yes. Yeah.
Servers, network wiring, and all that sort of stuff. Offices. But as you know, the office is something that's less and less an essential for businesses and more optional. And what are the drawbacks? What might be the drawbacks of not having a local presence?
Well, firstly, there's no boots on the ground, like as you said.
Yeah, but you can always hire somebody.
to
If
get
your
out
documentation on what's in the server closet, what's on the
Yes.
site is good,
there. You can
then
get
you can
anybody.
get
to the-
anybody. You can get them on video calls. Whether I used to do this from 2013.
Yeah.
Like people would go inside and like, what do you see? Send me a picture of it, and it works for troubleshooting. So why would you even have a level 3 who has the brain to figure out anything actually go inside and touch stuff when you can have just about anybody, even a staff member at your client office, show them what's going on remotely? Yeah. So boots on the ground is almost obsolete, but you might need somebody sometimes to do things like, like cabling or, change a toner cartridge. Yeah, but that doesn't have to be like the brightest person in the world, right?
No, not at all.
So boots on the ground is almost like minimal. And a lot of companies are remote first or remote only now these days. And you'll have people who are in different locations with their laptops or desktops, who knows. And, you can troubleshoot that remotely and have boots on the ground from them or someone that you're in contact with who can go over there. And, it's just going to be easy. And that's the direction we're heading in business since COVID, like all this sort of stuff, like remote only working, remote only MSPs, and it's great. You need robust cloud infrastructure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do need it.
You basically need to know that all you need to do is get another ThinkPad on site, get another ThinkPad to the user, and that if they know how to start TeamViewer or something like that, that you can get on there and within an hour or two do a new machine install and get them up and running. You can have ThinkPads or any other type of computer that you ship out to them and that are already pre-configured with your RMM agent and all that sort of stuff. And, they just have to connect to whatever Wi-Fi and stuff like that, and they're good to go on your systems, calling your support line, getting the full remote IT setup, integrate into the systems, but that's only if you have a robust cloud infrastructure, which most MSPs do now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's become quite normal in this day and age to have that infrastructure set up, to be able to, it's so easy to have some sort of RMM installed on the client's machine and assist them remotely. To send somebody out hands-on on-site for something minor, it's wasting your resources. I
Yeah.
mean, that technician, that travel time alone, they could have resolved 2-3 tickets maybe.
And this is something that might be overlooked, but you also have to have a robust security
Yes.
authentication system. How are you going to authenticate that the users who are calling in are actually who they say they are? If there's any ambiguity, if they've been locked out of their accounts, who is higher up in the organization that can authenticate them, or how do you authenticate them? Is it do you have one of those systems that has people hold up their ID with a picture of with their face on a smartphone or something like? There's added dimension of security verification for remote-only MSPs. You need to make sure that the users are adept at using MFA on their devices with whatever phone number or authenticator app, and remember about security for remote-only MSPs because people could call from anywhere because they can work from anywhere. Make sure you have like a geo-blocking policy for unblocking if somebody decides to remote work from Mexico and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And same with your internal staff. Just know where they are and know what the security entails. Take this very seriously if you're running a remote MSP.
Ultimately, it's just good communication.
Good communication and good policy on security, good authentication, so that you're not letting any bad actors create a nightmare horror movie
Situation.
Yeah, bad actors. Those bad actors, we've all seen them on TV.
Yeah.
They're out there in the world too, trying to scam as well. So yeah, documentation becomes really important for a remote-only MSP. If you have people in the office together, you might get away with, hey, John, what's the password for this server? Or how does this work? Or how does that? But documentation is really important to have in IT Glue or a system like that of all the setups you have. Have that documentation regularly tested, audited, the logs of who's logging in and accessing stuff. And just make sure that if people are remoting in, that you know what they're accessing. And again, on the security standpoint, that you're watching for possible breaches and stuff like that. And that all the information that you need to give your clients the best service possible is there.
Yes.
And documentation includes ticket notes.
Yes.
Ticket notes are super important.
Very important. I mean,
for remote MSP, because if you have remote MSP workers on your help desk, MSP technicians, you're only going to see their ticket notes if they're in a different place. You can't judge
100%.
them based on the quality of their office banter if there is no office.
Yeah.
You need to judge them based on the quality of ticket notes that they leave in the system, time entries, so on and so forth of the work that they're doing.
Yeah, all that's been done, keeping a complete record of what's been done on the ticket, and then using that as a reference point, judging them on their performance.
Yeah. Next up, standard operating procedures.
Yes.
Super
Very
important. Like how is work getting into your MSP system? Do you have someone answering the phone? Hopefully not a technician who's a dispatcher or a service coordinator who creates the ticket and assigns it to someone. How does that happen? What questions do they ask? How much information do they need to collect? And how do they assign that person to the most capable and available person
Yes.
in your team who's going to take that ticket and hopefully solve it?
I mean, that's what you want at the end of the day. You don't want technicians to be able to cherry pick the tickets that they want to work on, because that's going to...
You want somebody there organizing the help desk, checking the ticket notes of all the internal team, and just making sure that everything's functioning from a remote standpoint, that the whole service desk is able to be monitored remotely without asking people too much, that everyone's doing their part and keeping those tickets getting solved, that stuff getting documented, and the clients getting a smile on their face.
100%.
Yeah. What happens if they can't solve the ticket, Alex?
Well, then they need to escalate it.
Yeah. Okay. So they're just going to write a message in chat to it's just like an office, but brought into a chat room.
Yeah. Well, that's a common stigma, because in an office, often escalations could be like, "Hey, John, do you mind helping me with this ticket?" Remotely, that doesn't work.
Well, it can work on chat, but what if John isn't watching that chat because he's PowerShelling a new solution to the world's problems? What then? So you don't get an answer on the chat. Is that the only way that your remote MSP should be escalating? What's the next one?
Next one. So you should have a very well escalation procedure
A
documented.
transfer escalation.
transfer
So we don't
escalation.
mind as support adventure. We think chat escalation is a worst practice if it's only chat escalation. But if you want people to do chat escalation, and then if they don't get an answer within 15 minutes that helps them solve the ticket, then they need to do a full transfer escalation, writing up what the problem is, where it's at,
Good handover notes.
things that they've tried to resolve the issue, reasons why they themselves, as the person escalating, cannot solve it, stuff that the escalating technician needs to know, possible next steps, callback times for a client in need.
Ultimately, it's a handover responsibility.
And all the information needs to be on the ticket, and then that's handed back to the dispatcher or service coordinator, and that's handed to a senior technician.
Yes.
Or maybe in a smaller organization, handed directly to the senior technician, owner of the MSP, whatever. But having a clear escalation process is key to having a remote-only MSP, or else you're just gonna like chat about random nonsense, and then the signal to noise ratio is going to be horrible. Information is going to get lost. Tickets are going to get neglected, and it's not going to be good for you, your business, or your clients.
No, not at all.
Stress levels for everyone are going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, these
That's
are the
not
two
great.
main things. Yeah, just sort of like, yeah, have work getting into the system. Good ticket notes, good escalation, good customer service, clear ownership of everything when it comes into the system, gets assigned, get escalated, who's responsible for this and who's reviewing it, who's making this thing run like a fine-tuned remote working machine.
Yeah. Look, ultimately, it's good structure, good documentation. Remember, you can't scale chaos. So you need to have all those things well defined from the get-go.
Can't scale chaos.
And that sets you up for success from the get-go. So there are some things that maybe need to be worked on if you're going to go fully remote. You need to make sure that your systems and your processes are bulletproof.
Because then the clients can trust you.
Yes.
Then you can
That's the
trust
epitome
your
of
team.
of a MSP is
Yeah.
trust.
Trust.
Clients should trust you to be able to resolve the issue, and you should be able to trust your team to resolve that issue.
You know, transparency, proactive reporting, managing expectations, strong SLA adherence, and, you know, engagement with the client. Make them feel like they're cared, just as if someone was going to their office every week, you know?
100%.
Develop that relationship. Get on video calls to review the contract. You know, make them feel like you care about them and their lives rather than just their tech and the paycheck. You know, it's super important to maintain that, you know, a lot of people thought it was going to be really hard to get to know remote technicians through Support Adventure who are working for them. And then, you know, I think once they saw that they could interview the people on Zoom and get to know them like that and how easy that was. And once they saw that the people that the MSP clients were hiring through us, you know, before they even decided to interview them, they could see an intro video of them selling themselves, introducing themselves. That myth busted a lot of the preconception that you were just going to get some random person in a random country somewhere with a bunch of other random people in an office doing work in a very impersonal manner. No, in the remote working era with video calls and all of this stuff, and, you know, remote team building exercises and getting to know each other, video, you know, you can make connections. I have clients that I met after working for many years together, and, you know, a business coach that we work with that I met after working for many years. It's just like, oh, well, you're a bit taller or shorter than I expected, but otherwise, you know, we built the relationship, and it's nice to shake your hand.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary to build a relationship online. So just take the time to connect with the clients, connect with the people working for your MSP remotely. We've got people from all over the world who we can really get in there, and you and them can get to know each other. And you know, one of the greatest benefits of remote working is the space that you get
Yeah.
to do your
100%.
best work when working from home.
That's so nice.
I hate offices. This is why I started Support Adventure, because I hate offices. The fluorescent lights, the sound of different machines like printers, office banter, and all this sort of stuff. That stuff seemed as completely irrelevant and even distracting for me to do my best work as an IT technician. And lots of people who we hire and in the wider IT industry feel like me about that, because we like to get that laser hyper focus on
Focus.
issues and
in a
not be
comfortable
distracted.
environment,
Yeah.
have your setup there, and ultimately, for me, I mean, also coming from an office environment, the commute was a killer. Thinking if you finished your 9-hour day and now you have to sit in traffic.
And
going-
consider having retreats for your remote staff. You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the year, we're in Thailand right now, but the rest of our internal team of about 15 or 17 people are coming to Thailand to join our support adventure retreat, which we did 2 years ago. And we're doing again this year. And it was a great time to get to know each other. But again, not critical to working together and loving each other
No.
as a company culture, as a team. But it definitely went a long way to solidify that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So yeah, just connect with people, do it remotely, set up your procedures so that everything can be done remotely, and that on-site hands, boots on the ground is just a small detail that can be easily bridged. The gap can be bridged by, video calls with the client that show you stuff, all this shipping machines somewhere, all that sort of stuff, and it's all possible. And you, as an MSP owner or manager, can enjoy working from a place that inspires you, knowing that the staff that you're working with are working from places that inspire them in such a way that the organization actually thrives. The structure of your business actually is much better than it would be if everyone was in an office together, and you're giving freedom, satisfaction to retain your staff longer, and the clients will feel that excellent culture that you've built as a remote-only MSP.
So awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that really does summarize the stigma around remote only MSPs.
So if you want to
It
talk
can
about
be done.
hiring, yeah, I got to plug us. If you want to talk about hiring great people for your remote MSP that are in inspiring places around the world, great people, the best that we found from thousands of applicants every month that we get at Support Adventure, this is the guy to talk to.
Yeah. So go onto our website, supportadventure.com.
MSP staffing, become a client, form. After you fill out the form, you get a choice, fast track, which goes straight to Alex.
Yeah.
Or sales intro call if you just want to hear a little bit more and then let us get to know you a bit more. But if you want to actually get the staff as soon as possible, you talk to Alex on the fast track call. It's 90 minutes.
90-minute call.
You
We
learn
go
about
through
the client,
all your company processes, company culture, find out more about you. And I can present some candidates straight away
right away
on that call.
show
and we
you
can
who
get
we
the ball
got,
rolling.
the text on our decks.
The text on our decks.
And yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot for watching, and greetings from Bangkok. This finishes the end of the day of filming. Shall we get out there on the streets of Bangkok and see what's going on out there?
I think it's time for some nice street food.
Yeah, and I think, admit it, you envy us. So go remote only today. Catch you guys later.
Cheers, guys.